girls, welcome back to chapter 9 of Freddy. If it's true that fear stresses you out and that stress shortens a golden hamster's life, I had just grown older in pretty short order. I made a desperate attempt to assess my situation, but with absolutely no success. The same thought, I'm at Mr. John's place. I'm with Mr. John and his menagerie, went around and around in my head until I finally told myself, wait and see. Don't drive yourself nuts. Just wait and see. I felt a little better after that. Not that this disposed of the small problem. There was no way of getting away from it. Although the entrance to my cozy burrow was plugged, the air reeked of A, cheesy tomcat's sweat, and B, guinea pig pee. In human terms, it was like being cooped up in a bedroom with a vat of liquid manure. I breathed shallowly as I could. Freddy! Hey, that was Sophie's voice. So, come out. I brought you some food. Come out? The air was probably sulfur yellow with the stench. No, thank you. Besides, I had some food in my larders. Not that it would last me very long. Give him some time, said Mr. John. He'll have to get used to the smell first. It won't be easy for him. I thought to myself, very tactful of you yet again, Mr. John. Get used to it? Never. Freddy! Sophie wasn't giving up. There's some food here, Freddy. Well, kid, said Mr. John, it's time for school, but you can pay him a visit after school. Okay, Sophie sounded and kind of sad. But what if Mom won't let me come back? I thought to myself, uh-oh, what about tomorrow? What about the future? This might be my very last opportunity to lay eyes on Sophie. I drew a deep breath, removed the ball of wood shavings plugging the entrance to my burrow, and crawled out. Freddy! Sophie's eyes lit up. Look, Mr. John, he's fine. Absolutely fine, I said, as long as I held my breath. Heck, I had to breathe in already. What am I going to do? If Sophie hadn't been there, I would have hightailed it back into my burrow, but I managed to stick around. And what can I say? After a while, the smell became bearable. Welcome, Freddy, said Mr. John. This is your new home. 5 minutes ago, I'd have thought, better the pet shop than this dump. Now I wasn't sure. Here, Freddy. Sophie tipped the contents of a paper bag onto my feeding place. See what I brought you? It was an assortment of all things I liked best. A big enough assortment to console me for whatever tribulations I might have to undergo. Permit me to say one last time, Sophie was a girl in a million. Once Sophie had gone and I'd stowed the food away in my larders, I tried to form an idea of my new home. First, the smells. These informed me that the tomcat and the 2 guinea pigs must be housed in the room next door, where Mr. John had gone after leaving me. Then the sounds. These made a rather vague impression. The deep breathing I could hear was undoubtedly Mr. John's. He sounded as if he were asleep. But now, in the morning? Very exceptional for a human. There was also a low hum, more of a faint purring sound. That rather puzzled me. Could that be the guinea pigs? Then came a sudden high-pitched whistle. No, 2 whistles. A series of notes or kind of melody resembling a duet. It was awful but unmistakable. Only Enrico and Caruso, the guinea pigs, could have made it. Which meant that the purring came from William. I had no idea a tomcat was capable of making such a pleasant sound. Finally, I used my eyes. Looking around, I saw that my cage was situated on a shelf. Also on the shelf, to the left and to the right of it, were books. My cage was in the midst of books. I was on the bookshelf! Where reading matter was concerned, I had wound up in the land of milk and honey, and my pencil lever was the passport to it, so to speak. I sighed with delight. What a stroke of luck! Hold it. What was that? A red alert from my mental command center. The purring had stopped. Instinctively, I cowered down in the litter on the bottom of my cage. And then I heard it. A sound so faint that even my sharp ears had trouble detecting it. It was the sound of ultra-soft paws approaching from the next room. I heard the door being pushed open a little, and the sound increased in volume. I could guess its source. Worming my way to the front of the cage, I cautiously peered over the edge. Sure enough, the apparition below my bookshelf made me quake with terror. It was William. He was the biggest, blackest tomcat I'd ever seen. His huge green eyes were gazing up at me, and they seemed to convey a message. If I want to get to you, I will. After a while, he turned and padded off, slowly, with his tail in the air. I beat a wary retreat and crawled into my burrow. Stay cool, Freddy. That, yet again, was the order of the day. The bars of my cage would undoubtedly withstand the threat of a tomcat, however strong, so I was safe inside. But on the outside, never. In the age-old contest between cat and hamster, the cat always wins. Quite simply because its teeth are bigger and its jaws more powerful. I couldn't afford to venture outside the cage. In other words, I would never be able to get at the treasure trove of books all around me. It was awful. I literally wrung my little paws in despair. Melancholy overcame me once more, this time to such an extent that I sank into a kind of hibernating stupor. I was aroused by some strange noises. They were very loud and quite close to me. What could they be? No matter how depressed I was feeling, I had to find out. I crawled out of my burrow. It was Mr. John. He was taking some books from the shelf right beside my cage and putting them in his leather briefcase. Well, kid, you settled in already? He gave me a nod and left the room. Moments later, I heard the front door open and shut. A key was turned twice in the lock, then footsteps descended the stairs. Mr. John was going someplace. Melancholy overwhelmed me once more as I turned to re-enter my burrow. And then I heard the song. That was a quick, short chapter. I'll do chapter 10 next and see you next time. Bye for now.